Welcome to the American Warrior Festival podcast, a celebration of our troops, veterans, and American way of life. I'm your host, Dan Clor. The American Warrior Festival podcast brought to you by the Red Osier Landmark Restaurant, Western New York's premier dining experience, known for its amazing prime rib and dedication to the veteran community. Visit them online at theredosier.com. Hello, American Warrior Festival family. This is episode 10 of the American Warrior Festival podcast. We have a very special episode today. It is the firearms and weapons episode. So, I mean, who doesn't love that? We're going to have a good time talking to two of our good veteran brothers here, Army veterans, Patrick Kimball and Dan Caryk.
What's up, guys?
What's up, gents?
Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you, Dan?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pleasure is all ours. I appreciate you guys coming on. So, we got Patrick here, is a good friend of ours with the Firing Pin. American Warrior Festival family, you guys know all about the Firing Pin. They've been with us for a few years now, sponsoring us and taking care of us and giving us the local support. And Dan, just meeting you today. It's a pleasure is all ours to have you here with us. And so why don't you guys lead off and tell us a little bit about your military careers and your military background.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. So my name's Pat, as you mentioned, and I was a combat engineer in the U.S. Army for 6 years. I was with 1st Engineer Battalion, 1st Infantry Division for the entire time I was on active duty. I got a chance to deploy a couple times with those guys, once in 2006 to 2007. September 2006 to December 2007 in Mosul, Iraq, and then we went back again in 2009 to 2010, and I was actually in the same spot just across the street. So the first time I was in Fob Marez in Mosul, and the second time we were over on Fob Diamondback in Mosul, and so it was same basic place both times I went. And I left active duty in 2012 and went to the reserves for a year, did a year in the Guard, and I got out in 2014.
Nice. All right, Dan, how about you, brother?
Yeah, so again, thanks for having me. I was in the Army for just shy of 10 years. I started out in the 3rd Infantry Division down in Georgia, Fort Stewart, Georgia. I did 5.5 years there, and then I moved up to Fort Drum, New York, where I did another 4 years, 4.25 years up there. I did while I was in Fort Stewart, I deployed to Iraq twice. I did a 12 and a 15-month tour, and then when I was in Fort Drum, I did a 6 and a year-long tour in Afghanistan. After I got out in 2013, after I got out, I actually went into contracting. I tried to be a civilian for a while. It just wasn't working for me. So I ended up going to contracting, and I went to Iraq, I think, 6 or 7 times with that, just doing, 3-4 months a shot. And then, while I was in the Army, I was an infantryman. Then I started getting into the reconnaissance world before my second tour in Iraq. And then when I got up to drum, I actually got a chance to go to sniper school. So I'd been in that realm for the entire time. It's just I finally actually got to go to the school and get the qualification under my belt. And that's what I did. When I was with TC, I was a defensive designated marksman, which is a politically correct term for a sniper.
Nice. How'd you like your time up there in Fort Drum, man?
It's all right. I mean, it's you're from New York, so you know how the weather is. It's it goes from 0 to 13th flare of hell in a heartbeat. So. It was all right. With Fort Drum, it's a beautiful area, but I didn't like the unit. And then with Fort Stewart in Georgia, it was an absolutely horrendous area but I love the unit. So it was, I just couldn't find that happy medium.
Well, it really comes down to the people you serve with, right? And
Yeah,
at the
absolutely.
end of the day, if you're with the right group of guys.
Yeah, it's the people you serve with, and it's I always say it's the attitude of the unit.
Yeah.
Fort Stewart, if they're 3rd Infantry, they're mechanized heavy infantry, and everybody, you're not so much in the Marine Corps, but in the Army, like, oh, mechanized guys, oh, you're not airborne, blah blah blah. But like when I got to Fort Stewart, those are some straight up killers there. Like those dudes had just invaded Iraq and like wiped out 3 Iraqi Army divisions in a matter of a few weeks. Like these guys are no joke.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So then I get to Fort Drum, and it was just like, I don't know. It was just such a schoolhouse unit. I never did really click there, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. Now, the usual tour in the Army over in Iraq and Afghanistan, year to a year and a half, right? On average?
Yeah, we were doing like 12 to 15 months. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, the Marine Corps, you have the 7 months on, 7 off. Real short.
That's brilliant, though.
Yeah.
Well, like the problem with the year-long tour is because it's anything over 8 months by regulation, you have to give each soldier the opportunity to take a block leave. So, like throughout the whole deployment, you're always missing somebody because there was always somebody on leave. So, you got a rifle squad and you're short, a grenadier or a saw gunner or a team leader, or sometimes you're short a squad leader, and it just I think it's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, I know there were Army units that would see like 3 Marine Corps units come and go while they were in country.
Oh,
definitely.
They were like, you guys are the 3rd unit we've met since we've been here.
For sure.
And I was like, oh man, the length.
My 2nd time in Iraq, I was attached to my battalion was attached to the Marine Corps, and I think we went through two different Marine regiments while we were there. I mean, they're great guys. Like I couldn't ask for a better backup, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I love the camaraderie between the Marine Corps and the Army.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of good banter. I've actually been in a band with a couple of paratroopers, and he would do my pedal boards and shit and set it up for me, and there'd always be some kind of Marine Corps dig and some 82nd Airborne pride all over my shit with pink tape.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Gotta love it.
And we played on a couple bases like 29 Palms, and he was talking to all the young Marines. They had their portholes, their boot camp glasses,
right?
Called the BCGs, right? First control.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah,
I got a set of those laying around somewhere.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could see the young guys wearing those, man, in the base, and just the freshness of their service, and good times, man. Good times with that dude.
For sure.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about if you want to talk about sniper school or some of the stuff you did with combat engineering, Patrick. Maybe tell the people a little bit about what you guys would do on a day-to-day.
So when I was over there in Iraq, we were doing the route clearance mission, right? So we were doing a lot of route clearance ahead of the different combat logistical support patrols that would come to and from the bases with different supplies and stuff like that. So we were always trying to keep Route Tampa or Highway 1, as you guys may know it. We were always trying to keep that route clear to the north and south of Fob Marez. And so we were just basically looking for IEDs and trying to find bad guys and get into gunfights and stuff like that, man.
Yeah, God bless you guys, man. Because what year? 2006 to 2007?
Yeah, man.
When did you get there in 2006?
September 2006. So before the troop surge in December of that year.
I was there in April, like September 05 to April 06.
Oh, gotcha.
And,
yeah, were you in Mosul too?
Yeah, we were in Ramadi.
Oh, okay.
So,
yep.
Yeah. We were doing they had to start taking over prisons and then doing convoy security and like detention, and bringing guys from the detention centers down to like Abu Ghraib and convoys.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that training, some training.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically what we did. But I mean, that was the biggest thing everyone was concerned about. Obviously, that taking the all the freaking detainees down on those roads and what was going on with the IEDs. And
Right.
so the work you guys did, I mean, amazing.
Yeah, the IED threat was really bad at that time, as you know. And so we actually, our unit, we took a lot of pride in being really proactive in a lot of stuff that we were doing. So we found different spots where they would be putting IEDs in culverts and stuff like that. And so we would go out and do culvert denial missions, using some of that combat engineer obstacle skills and stuff like that, and just trying to deny them the ability to get into those culverts and in place big IEDs. And we were pretty successful with that. And we would set out small kill teams and try to interdict different, IED, like known hot spots, like tactical areas of interest, where they were laying a lot of IEDs and stuff like that, trying to interdict the guys that were in placing that stuff. And we would do a lot of going out and policing up the command wire, because they would lay command wire, networks, basically setting up like an electrical grid for themselves, right? So that if I have a power source on one end, far away from the road, I can set up my initiation device and my charge by the road, and then I can connect my power source when I get to the other end, and now I can watch for my signal where I know the approaching patrol is going to be right in front of my IED where I want to detonate that device, and then I can hit them where I want to hit them and maybe ambush them or whatever else I want to do at that point.
Nice, man. Because that was by far, I think by the time 2005 to 2006 hit, I think the IEDs were the biggest fear, right? More than ambushes, more than snipers and suicide bombing. The IED really was like, I think everyone's biggest concern.
Absolutely, man.
So cool. Dan, how about yourself, man? I know you were there a few different times, so.
Yeah, for sure. So my first time there was 04 to 05, and it was still it's like you were saying, where the fight had transitioned. So I actually was involved in that transition where in 04 and 05, it was still very much a gunfight.
Right.
So when we showed up to Iraq, like, hey, you got to watch out for these things called IEDs. So like, what are IEDs? Like, we had no idea what it was. Like, oh, they just put a thing in the road and it blows up. Like, oh, that sounds like it sucks.
Right. Good times.
So, but we were still at that time. We were still kicking doors and doing raids, and we do our daily patrols and whatnot. It was when like Pat had brought up small kill teams. It was when small kill teams were really starting to, I guess, that was like the birth of small kill teams, was that around that time frame. And it was just a four-man unit, and it would go set in an ambush on an intersection or a known hot spot, if you will. And but other than that, lots of raids, lots of patrolling. We'd set in like hardened OPs, where we basically throw some Iraqi dude out of his house and fortify his house and turn it into a bunker in the middle of the city. It's kind of like just like basically a giant middle finger.
For sure.
So in the middle of the insurgents' AO. So a lot of that. My second tour, when I was actually in the reconnaissance unit, that was when that was my 15-month tour. I pretty much did. That was all we did was kill teams. And at the when by that time they had rolled around, TTPs had changed, and the kill team itself had changed a bit, and so the kill team was a slightly bigger. We had a little bit more assets to use. So we were, like I said, we were attached to Marine Corps. So in each kill team, we had an Anglico Marine attached to us to take care of all of our rotary wing aviation, needs. And I tell you what, those dudes were a huge asset. If there's any Anglico guys listening, what you guys do matters, and even then with Pat, the route clearance guys, like your guys' mission is the route clearance mission was so critical and so important that the entire thing would have fallen apart without the route clearance guys. So obviously Pat, he knows that I have a lot of respect for what he did, but if there's any other guys out there that are listening in, dude, you guys, I can't tell you enough how important it is what you guys did. Was it the sexiest thing in the world? No. But I can tell you from experience, in the reconnaissance unit and being a sniper, I've been laying in a Ranger grade pissing on myself for 3 days. It's not sexy either. So
Right.
For sure.
So don't feel bad.
For sure.
But that was my second tour. And then when I went to Afghanistan's a whole different animal. Afghanistan was so risk averted. Like they're just so scared of taking a risk. Like, I finally had, after 6 years of doing it, I was finally a qualified sniper. So when I take the sniper section out and do sniper things, I'm like, oh no, we can't have such a small element getting out there sticking its neck out, and you guys could get hurt. And it's like, well, we could get hurt driving up and down the road too. So
yeah,
what's the difference? Like, seems kind of silly to not take a risk to be a little more proactive than just do completely. Afghanistan to me seemed completely reactive compared to Iraq. So that was my first time in Afghanistan. That was my first experience, was realizing how afraid it seemed that we were to take risk. And then, just a simple example, like we were, and this, I guess it was negotiated with the Afghan government. Like we were on a lot of patrol at nighttime. I was like
really,
our the best advantage that we have, like
yeah.
the apex of the technological advantage that we have, our ability to see at nighttime, and we're not going to use it. That seemed kind of silly. But anyway, that was 10 pay grades above me. So my second time in Afghanistan, or my first time in Afghanistan, I was in the Tangi Valley, which the only reason the Tangi Valley is famous because that's where SEAL Team 6 got that. They were shot down in a Chinook.
Oh
Yeah, that was that valley. And what's funny though is because we had been getting information that they had some kind of man pad there, some sort of shoulder launched guided missile intent. So they had some sort of shoulder launch, but we had been hearing that, and we've been looking all over for this thing, and we never did find it, obviously. And then unfortunately, that SEAL team and the Army Special Operations Aviation guys got shot down. And I know what's funny is I know exactly, if I went back to that patrol base, I could point exactly to the village where it came from. If you gave me a map, I could point right to it. But it's joys are in. But at any rate, that was my first time in Afghanistan. My second time I was in the Arghandab River Valley, where it was pretty much a jungle fight. It was really tight. It was grape rows after grape rows, a lot of vegetation, just absolute. It was like basically it was a gunfight on an obstacle course is the best way I could describe it. Because you get into a firefight and you start shooting and you go to maneuver and you have to jump over a 6-foot tall grape wall. So you're trying to get a whole squad over a grape wall in a timely fashion is an absolute nightmare.
Oh man!
All the while you're looking for IEDs, and what a mess that was.
Not a shit going on at once there, huh?
Oh yeah. I honestly, one of the funniest memories I had from there was it wasn't a firefight, but somebody had spotted a Taliban like a 2-man team or something, and they were getting ready to launch a recoilless rifle at somebody, or fire a recoilless rifle at somebody, and they caught him and they dropped a 500-pound bomb in the middle of this grape row, blew up the grape row, right? And so they send us over there to go look for it, of course, because it didn't just get obliterated by 500 pounds of explosives or anything. So we go over there, and fortunately for me, I didn't get sent in there. My buddy Marcus got sent in there, and he was knee deep in grape juice, like in mud. So the overpressure blew all the grapes up, and there was he was up to his knees and just raped you. Like, I'm pretty sure he just threw his pants and boots out because they were just. It was like taking a bath in honey. It was horrible.
He should have had some wine, huh? Just go there, put the canteen in there.
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, so that was my second time in Afghanistan. And after that, came home and eventually got out about a year and a half later. My last 6 months in the Army was probably the most awesome time I had. I ran a gym.
Oh, really?
I didn't do anything. I show up to work every other day for like 3 hours and then I'd leave.
There you go.
Yeah,
so R&R finally, huh?
Yeah, I didn't put my uniform on, I'm pretty sure, for the last 6 months I was in, unless I absolutely had to.
Just what you have, the gray PT gear? The Army T-shirt with the...
Oh, no, I wore civilian clothes.
Nice.
I wore civilian clothes in my gym. Like half the people, they come in there and go, "Who are you?" I go, "My name's Dan." I was like, wouldn't want any responsibility whatsoever. I'm pretty sure all the young officers thought I was just some random civilian.
They let you grow your facial hair out and everything? Did you get that lucky?
No, I didn't do that. I didn't want to grow a beard at the time, but
oh, okay.
That wasn't until I was completely out. I was still institutionalized where I had to shave every day.
Nice, man. Now, did you have aspirations to go into the private military security world after that? Or, I mean, when did that kind of come about? You got out and maybe... Absolutely not.
No? No. Yeah. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was done.
You were done, yeah.
I had enough. I got out, and like I said, in 2013, I got out, and I got married right before I got out. And so my wife and I moved back to Spencerport. We were living in an apartment. Excuse me. And I had started going to college, and I was going to college for precision machining. And I'm in college. I really enjoyed my precision machining classes. But everything else that you have to do, like English and like some of the math stuff and like humanities, this is like, it was just awful. I was like, oh, how do people do this? Like, and I felt, I was 28 or 29. And I'm like looking at these kids like, your minds are just being poisoned right now. I was like, you don't know how bad this is. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And, so I ended up I finished up my semester with college, or I did 2 semesters, and ended up finding a job working in a factory. And so I worked in a factory for a few years, and I mean, you know how Western New York is. It's everybody either works in a factory or is an engineer at a factory. That's just the nature of the beast. So I wasn't really making that much money. Get lost. 6-year-old. I ended up just kind of searching around for new jobs. I was like, God, I got to make some more money. Like, this is just not getting me to where I want to be. So one of my good friends, he was in the contracting. Was, man, why don't you just look at contracting for a minute? And I did. I was like, man, at the time it was $468 a day, and I was like, oh man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, $460 a day. Like, and I was like, all right, so I jumped in, and as much as I thought I would hate it, I actually really enjoyed it. It was nice to get back into the camaraderie, as if you will, with because it's all Army and Marine guys, so it's
right. But
we don't have to but we're not in uniform anymore. There's no rank structure. It's just a bunch of dudes, being dudes. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and the thing that's so much better about that than the art or than the military in general is it's big boy rules. We always say big boy rules in the Army. Oh, it's big boy rules on this range. Like, well, no, it's not. Somebody's gonna be babysitting.
Yeah.
Like literally in contracting, it's big boy rules. Like if you have an ND on the range or you do something unsafe or dumb on the range, you just get fired. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, oh, sweet. because you'll
Sure.
have some guy like, hey, what happened to Bob over there? Like, oh yeah, he ND'd on the range, so they fired him. Like, oh, that sucks. Well, I don't want to be around anybody that NDs, so
Yeah.
I mean, it was really nice, and honestly, like everybody there is in their late 20s, early 30s, so everybody's there real mature for the most part. Real mature. These guys have lives outside of what they're doing, so they do their job to the best of their ability, and they really do have a sense of, more so even than the military, more so a sense of taking care of one another. Like, unfortunately, one of my friends from contracting, his, in the middle of the night, he got a phone call, and his son had been diagnosed with leukemia, and it's awful. So my shift leader, he gets up in the morning and sends a message out over Skype like, hey, I need 3 trucks to take him back to the embassy so we can get him out of country. And it was, by the time he got done with all the volunteers, he had 5 trucks going, and the dude had, I think he had $800 worth of cash in his pocket. Like, dude's like, you need money? Here, take money. Like, we gave, like, people
Right.
just handing him $100 bills. Like, bro, you need money. You're going to need money. And because he was the, in the contractor world, he was the lowest tier of payment. So, I mean, he was making good money, but, we didn't want him to have to spend his own money because he's going to have some bills, obviously. We don't want to spend his own money just to get home. So we really like stuffing money in this dude's pocket just to get him home so he could eat on the way home and, all that stuff. And get a cab when he got to the airport. It was just the level that guys care about each other. It seemed like it was much more genuine in contracting than it was in the military. In the military, you have to be around each other because you can't leave. In contracting, the guys, they stick around because they want to be there. They want to be in that team. They want to be there. So it was just it's a different environment, and that's not to take anything away from the military at all. Obviously, it was a great experience for me, but it just, in contracting, it was just a different feel for me. So,
and you probably knew a lot of those guys from your time serving in the Army as well, right? I remember in Iraq we met a bunch of those guys, contracting guys.
I only ran into 1 or 2 guys that I knew from the service. Yeah, honestly, like most of my team was Marines. I was one of, I think there was 15 guys in the team, and I was one of like maybe 5 Army guys. Most of them were Marines.
Do you guys have to? Do you have to cover your own travel and equipment and everything in the contracting world?
No, your travel is covered for you.
Nice.
It's so when you go. So if I were to leave today, I would drive up to Anchorage, get on a plane, and shoot over there. The company covered that, and then equipment-wise, everything that you need, they have there. It's real super basic kind of stuff. It's like, so we had plate carriers, but they were low pro plate carriers, so you would wear a plate carrier and then a button down shirt. And so it didn't look like you were wearing a plate carrier, and then you had a little battle belt and a Rhodesian that you would keep in the truck. But real simple, basic stuff, but perfectly functional. I mean, our job wasn't to get into fights. Our job was to get out of them when they did happen. So it was, we tried to stay light and as light and mobile as possible. Like I honestly, like, I'm wearing, like, minus a button shirt, like this is what I would wear on a mission. Like,
and the brown khaki pants, right? Or the brown.
I never wore the 511s.
No.
I'm proud to say I never wore 511s. I refused. Honestly, so I was there. We'd get new guys in, and they're like, yeah, and they would come in with, whatever they had, and like, what should I get? What kind of shirts are good? What kind of shirts work good? What kind of pants? And these guys are telling them, like, oh, you got to get Columbia or Cool or, this kind of fishing shirt. And I was like, bro, go to Kohl's and buy something off the $20 rack because you're
And
going to
roll with it.
destroy it. You're going to destroy it, and you're going to be really upset if you got a $200 pair of pants on and you rip them. I was like, I wear Wranglers, and Levi's because I'm cheap. I was like, just because I'm making money doesn't mean I'm gonna stop acting like I'm not poor.
Right.
Nice. So, let's talk about some of the firearms and weaponry in our time and when we were in, and maybe the future of where you guys think it's headed. We can nerd out on some of the weapons shit that's coming down the pipe.
For sure.
Oh, God.
I mean, maybe some of the stuff that we had early on that was by the time you guys got out was changing, and different weapons that you used and what you liked and all that good stuff.
It went from being the Dan show to being the Pat show now.
So when I was in, man, I remember being a young private, and the first thing I got when I got to my unit was an M249 squad automatic weapon, right? So I had the belt-fed, like, light machine gun squad automatic weapon, automatic rifle thing with 5.56 linked ammo. And then I had, after that, I had an M16A4 for a little while until I got to be a team leader. And then I had an M4 with a grenade launcher, an M203. And I remember being a machine gunner up on my 240 Bravo machine gun. And I also remember we had 50 cal M2s that we could never use in the city of Mosul when I was deployed, up until we ended up getting into some gunfights where we should have had some heavier weapons, but we had 240s. And so they ended up letting us use the 50 cals later on in my first deployment. So, but yeah, as far as where it's headed, man, they got some cool stuff coming out from SIG with that new 338 Norma machine gun, if you guys know anything about that.
Nice. Why don't we talk a little bit about that?
So SIG Sauer, as you know, has gotten a couple of contracts from both the Marine Corps and the Army, right, for their handguns. They got the M17 pistols going out to the Army, and they got the M18 version of the SIG P320 handguns going out to the Marines. Basically the same guns. The Marines have a little bit shorter slide and barrel, and they have an extended magazine for a couple extra rounds in the magazine there. But both guns have night sights and manual safeties on them, come in flat dark earth colors with optics cut slides and cool stuff like that. They're also going to be outfitting them with cool infrared lasers mounted on the guns, infrared light / lasers. So those are going to be, if they're not already in the field, they'll be out soon. But also SIG has the 338 Norma machine gun, which is supposed to replace some of the general purpose machine guns like the 240 Bravos that are out there. And they've also got a an optic for the machine gun, and they've got a 1 to 6 power scope that the Army just adopted for use on either sniper, I think the designated marksman rifles. So SIG's got a lot of stuff. Yeah, SIG's got a lot of stuff in the works right now with the Department of Defense.
It's looking good for them, huh? Into the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, they call themselves the complete systems provider, right? So one of the things about SIG, and the reason I know so much about their product lines is because I've gone up there about 4 times in the past 4 years for different instructor courses that they do up there. So
nice. Where are they headquartered?
So now they're in Exeter, Massachusetts, is where they do their manufacturing, and Epping, Massachusetts, is where they have the SIG Sauer Academy and Pro Shop.
Nice. So not too far away from where you're at all.
Yeah, well, actually, so I'm originally from Maine, right? So I go So when I go up there, I stay with like my parents, and I get to like eat good, home cooked food, and then I drive like an hour down the road to go to school every day, and then I go back to mom's house to sleep, and then so I just drive back and forth for like a week. So it's how I spend like my yearly vacation, right? I go up there and I take an instructor course, and I hang out with my mom for like a week, and then I come home.
Sounds like a great time. You jump all over that, I imagine. Every year you do it?
Every chance I get, right? I mean, I'm going So I went last year for the Master Pistol Instructor course. I went the year before for the Patrol Rifle Instructor course recertification. It was 2 years. So I'm sorry, I didn't go in 2017, but I went in 2016 for the semi-auto pistol instructor, and I went the year before for Patrol Rifle Instructor the first time around. So I've been up there 4 times in the past 5 years, and I'm going back for Tactical Games is doing a 2-day competition up there at SIG Academy in May. So I'm going back to compete in the Tactical Games this year.
Nice, man. I was actually following you there on Facebook and checking out your action when you just did the competition. Was it a couple months ago or 2 months ago?
Yeah, at the Firing Pin, right? Yeah, the skirmish that we did up there.
Oh, is that what you? I thought you did another one where
when you competed in.
Yeah, when you competed. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, that was in Pennsylvania in August. Yeah. So
cool, man.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to get back and do it again.
So, yeah, and we'll get into the Firing Pin and talk a little bit more. We get towards the end of this. I want to talk more about our relationship with you guys and everything that you have going on and the things you do for the community and all the veteran organizations in the area and beyond.
Gotcha, yeah.
I figure we talk a little bit about the armory. I don't know if it's the same way for you guys with, weapons cleaning at the end of the day and trying to get things turned into the armory and
right.
Just when you think you have the whole thing cleaned and the armorer digs in. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have any funny stories from the armory or.
Well, so I was actually the unit armorer, right?
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So
the devil himself is on the phone.
Oh no!
So when I was the armorer, I tried to be like pretty cool, for the most part. But then later on, when I got promoted to E5, I was the armsman CO. And when I was the armsman CO, I knew a little bit more about the maintenance schedules and how things kind of rolled in the arms room. And so I became like really anal about all of that shit, man. And I would get in your ass about any kind of carbon on the bolt tail, right? Or carbon in your gas tube or carbon under your extractor. Like guys would go to hand in their shit and I would take extractors off of bolts and like stick Q-tips and shit in there. And, so the first sergeant was really happy with me, but he was always like, you're in charge. You basically you get to say when we go home. And so, I had a lot of pull with the first sergeant, you know what I mean?
You knew when the Q-tip came out, you were screwed. You're like, oh shit, here we go.
Oh dude, I would get in that ass.
That was the one of the cool things about contracting. So when you're getting ready to go home on your 30-day break, you take all your stuff to the arms room, and they do the same thing. They go to like, all right, I gotta take them apart and clean them. Like I literally just handed you $20. Like clean it for me. Like all right,
there you go, some extra money.
For sure. Here's $20. My problems are over.
Done and done, right?
Yeah, done and done. Yeah, 20. Money talks, man. Money talks.
Absolutely.
Well, that was the thing in contracting. In contracting, they don't give you a cleaning kit, so you're trying to clean your, whatever your, M4 or your whatever you got, your Glock. You're trying to clean it with a, the pick tools on a Gerber tool. So,
right.
It's like I was like, how do you think to clean this thing with? So you just give them $20 and all your stuff will come out shining clean.
They don't hand out gallons of CLP, huh?
Oh no! Yeah. Oh god! Yeah. The worst thing you can ask supply for in contracting is batteries. It's like, oh, we don't have any batteries. They're on order. It's like, dude, I've been doing this job for 2 years and they've been on order the whole time. My flashlight doesn't work. Give me some damn batteries.
Oh man! So Patrick, when you saw that, you're like, all right, I'm going to be able to talk to these guys from the guy inside, in the armor. Yeah.
Right.
There's good reason for it, though, right? If you let it slide every time, that's just going to start building up, right?
You know what though? I was a platoon sergeant for a while.
Yeah, you got to have standards, man.
Yeah, and it's from a platoon sergeant standpoint, like you got to have standards, and you've got to support the armor.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, like I found, like if you're supportive of the armor will be supportive of you. So
sure.
So you walk in from the field at 9 o'clock at night, like, all right, got to do weapons maintenance to get a good hour of weapons maintenance in. And, you know, you go down there and he's kicked back every single one of your guys. Like, and you go in there and you close the door like, listen, bro, these dudes have been out in the field for 2 weeks. I'll have them in here at 5. They will be lined up at your door at 5. Just let them turn their shit in. Like, all right, you know, because they know that you won't, you know, come tomorrow when it's time to get after it again. That you're on board with them then. But you know, at the same, as a platoon sergeant, you got to take care of your guys too. Be like, hey man, these things aren't going to be any dirtier in the morning. Like,
right.
Let's just get this over with. Let these guys go home and get a couple hours of sleep, and then they're going to come back and do a better job.
Right.
You know,
come back fresh. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, different story in Afghanistan. You get back from your patrol, clean weapons, and that means clean them. Like,
right.
It's not negotiable then.
Sure. Mission dictates,
you know,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're stateside and it's late at night and guys just want to go home, like, just let them go home for God's sake.
Absolutely.
We don't need to be a dick all the time to make the unit function. For sure.
Definitely. So now we talked a little bit about what you guys are currently up to, but let's get into it deeper with, you know, how the things that you learned in the military, specifically with pertaining to weapons, how that's kind of shaped your post-military career. Patrick, it seems kind of like obvious to start with you here because I mean it's what you do and day in and day out. So why don't you talk about how that kind of led you into your post-military career?
Well, you know, one of the things, Dan, for me is as a machine gunner, right, I learned the number of times that just having a gun that was ready to go could save your life, right, in a combat scenario.
Right.
But, you know, even in the civilian world, too, it just, you know, from the concealed carry mindset, it makes sense to have proper equipment, you know what I mean, that you can get definitive game-changing shots into the fight, right? So that was one of my takeaways from being a machine gunner is having the ability to get accurate rounds on a target quickly. It makes all the difference in the world. So taking that back to what I do now from an instructor perspective, it just means that, you know, I want to teach people how to have high accuracy standards in everything that they're doing so that when the time comes, they can do that. They can apply those good fundamentals at a subconscious level because that's what's going to be efficient.
Nice, right? It's all technique. And what's that saying about what, smooth is slow or slow? What's the saying you guys have?
So some guys will tell you slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right? But I'm here to tell you that slow is just slow.
Slow
right?
is slow.
Right.
Slow is just slow. Yeah.
Slow is just slow.
Fast is fast.
That's some
Fast
shit
is
that
fast.
slow guys say.
Slow.
That's some shit that slow guys say to justify not being fast guys, right? Like, so
Yeah, it's yeah.
So that's some bullshit, right?
well, so
Yeah.
here's what I say a couple of things. I say speed is fine and accuracy is final, right?
Wow.
So
yeah.
being the first guy to miss doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot, right? And then the other thing that I say is get to the gun fast. Like be fast to the gun, and then you can rush to the shot. You don't have to rush the shot, right? In other words, get your hand on the gun fast, get the gun out, get the sights semi-aligned with the target, and then start prepping that trigger and deliver a good, accurate first shot, first couple shots, and that's going to change the outcome.
For sure. Right on, man.
100%. 100%. Pat's
Okay.
actually Pat's taught me I'm not a great pistol shooter at all. And I was
Either am I, man. That's why I'm gonna go see Pat when I get back to New York.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man.
Absolutely.
Like, if you need a class on shooting pistols, Pat is. I went from being maybe like an average pistol shooter, not only say average, a semi-average pistol shooter, to being a much better pistol shooter, having worked with Pat. And it's not even like a lot, like hours and hours of training, just like, hey, Pat, watch me shoot this string real quick. Like, oh, hey, just fix your hand. Move your hand like this. Like, oh, duh. Like, yeah, oh, yeah, I knew that, Pat. Come on, man. I was just making sure that you were paying attention, yeah. But but no, I've learned a lot from Pat, and he's absolutely right though. Is it's speed is fine, but accuracy is final, and that was I did I shot a little the 10 and 10 at 10 string the other day. I posted it on Pat's page there, and that was one of the things I noticed myself doing was where I try and be a little bit overly precise sometimes. Like I can shoot really fast, but if I'm trying to be precise, I slow way down. Like it's. But while I was doing it, I can almost hear Pat just screaming at me, "Just pull a damn trigger!" like this.
Get it down range, right?
I could hear him watching my video, be like, "Pull the trigger, Dan. What are you waiting for?"
For sure, man.
So, I mean, it sounds like a great time to segue into our event that we're going to be launching here together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, the American Warrior Festival. We're going to call it the Medal of Honor virtual shoot because it's going to culminate and end on the March 25th, the Medal of Honor Day. And
Excellent.
We're putting that with the Ruck Run as well.
Okay, very good.
And we reached out to Pat right away because the Firing Pin for 3 or 4 years running now has been a sponsor of the American Warrior Festival, and they continue to help us in any way that you guys can by sponsoring. Last year we had an event planned, or this year we were going to do an event in June. Obviously the COVID stuff knocked a lot of that stuff out of the way for us, but we're scheduled, I think, for June 26th coming up this year, 2021. So before we get to that, we thought about, we're going to COVID proof this thing and do a virtual shoot. And we figured let's get together with all of our participating firing ranges and stores that are sponsoring us and supporting the American Warrior cause.
Right.
And so we reached out to Pat to talk about how we can standardize the competition and what kind of competition we could choose. And so, Pat, why don't you tell people what we're going to be getting into with the 10, 10, 10, and 10, right?
Yeah, 10, 10, 10 drill. So I found this drill a while ago, a long time ago, on just on Instagram. You know what I mean? It was on Recoil Magazine's page, and it was 10 yards, 10 rounds in 10 seconds, and it's highly demanding standard of accuracy, right? Because you're shooting at a B8 NRA pistol target. So it's a pistol target with about a 1-inch diameter bullseye, and it's 5.5 inches in the black. It's the B8 pistol target, the proper one. It has a black scoring area, and the black scoring area is 5.5 inches wide, and it has an X ring, a 10 ring, a 9 ring, and an 8 ring. And anything outside of that 8 ring is not scored when you shoot the drill. So I shot the drill the other day on a very similar target with a 1-inch bullseye / X ring, and it has the 10 ring, and then the 9, and then the 8, and the total diameter of the circle is 6 inches. So I'd say that 6 inches, 5.5. If you don't have access to a B8 pistol target, any target that's in that 6-inch range, I would say is going to be close enough to call it within the standards. But it's basically 10 yards fired at 10 rounds in 10 seconds.
You don't mean that. Line burners don't count. Line burners don't count, Pat.
Well, so yeah, if you have to ask, it's out. We're gonna get to the scoring of these targets for sure. So 10 yards, 10 rounds, 10 seconds for the maximum number of points that you can. The other day I shot it in 8.07, and I got a score of 74 points with 2 out. 4 X's, by the way. So not too bad, but definitely more movement in the gun than I wanted. I didn't have a secure grip on the handgun. So, but I think we should start there, Dan, because it's nice and simple, right? And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for something that's simple and standardized, and almost anybody should have access to, a 10. If you got access to an indoor range or an outdoor range, you should have 10 yards available to you. You should have some kind of way to time 10 seconds. some kind of bullseye, target that's similar to that B8 pistol target. If you got a B8 pistol target,
print
absolutely.
a B8 online.
Yeah, so you know what? That's what we should have them do then. You could just print off the standard B8, 5.5 inches, and I'll go ahead and shoot it again on the B8. That gives me an excuse to shoot it again.
Awesome. And what would the participants need besides the target? I mean, what are the things that with any handgun? I mean, yeah.
Well,
caliber?
so what if you? Yeah, I would say whatever handgun that you are going to be mostly carrying or practicing with on the range. If you're a competition guy, right, whatever handgun that you shoot your competition with, I would say that's going to be a good fit for you. If you're somebody that carries a concealed pistol, then try it with your concealed carry pistol because it is a relatively high standard of accuracy that we're asking for here. So, and I always suggest shooting for that high standard of accuracy when you're using your concealed carry handgun for obvious reasons. So I would say that, whatever handgun you're most comfortable with, you think you're the most comfortable with, give it a try with that and see how you do, and definitely post your results. And who should they when they do this, Dan? What are the tags, or what are they doing here?
We're in Gil. My guy Gil out here in San Diego is really dialing everything in. And,
okay, good.
He's got the registration already set up. So we're going to have producer Don. When this podcast gets released, we're going to have links and everything, so people know how to register.
Right
and I think what we're going to do is have them. We're going to see if we can get someone from the range to maybe film it or at least take a picture of their target, so we can kind of score it as a team. Right. That probably makes sense.
Well, yeah, I think for the integrity of the game purposes, right? Like, obviously, we want to make sure that everybody's following the same kind of standard set of rules here.
Sure.
Because we don't want somebody to have some sort of an advantage. I would love to do it on the honor system, but as you know, somebody's always going to try to game it ultimately.
So have someone from the range that can help us out with scoring and take their scores, and we can post it up on the site and everything.
Sure. Yeah. If you're doing it at a partner range, right, they should have access to a timer. And get a friend to do it too. I mean, if you're just at the range with a friend, there's nothing wrong with having them hold a timer and a camera. I do it all the time. It's not that difficult necessarily. But as long as we have some sort of video evidence, I would call that satisfactory. Or
absolutely.
Video or photo. Photo is okay, but video clearly preferable.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely. And we're going to be reaching out. I'd imagine this first one we do. And like you're saying, Pat, do something simple to roll it out. We're going to see how many ranges want to get on board and be a participating range. And we're going to, because we're going to be sending a lot of participants their way. So we're going to talk and get on the same level. So each range is doing the same thing to become a part of this. We don't want range A doing all these extra things, and range B just kind of gets the business and doesn't jump in and help. We want to work together, promote each other. You
also want to make sure that we can do things that every range should be able to do. You don't want to do something that only a range out in Tennessee can do, but a range in New York can't do. So you don't want to have a string of fire that's 30 rounds long. We know that in New York you can only have 10 rounds in your fixed magazine. That's
for sure.
Yeah. Great point.
Definitely not cool.
In fact, New York probably has the lowest, right? The lowest amount of rounds you could put in a mag.
As far as I know, because we got the 10-round capacity limit, I don't think anybody's below that at this point. So, New York would be the most restrictive state. I know, Dan, we had at one point discussed doing some of this stuff with some carbine drills mixed in there as well.
Yeah.
For future ones, and we could definitely do it broken down where it's multiple strings of 10, 10, 10, more than one string if it was going to be something that would require 30 plus rounds, because we want everybody to be able to participate, obviously.
And I think once we really start getting this going, imagine we have like 100 ranges across the country involved. How much fun?
I think it would be so cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm very excited for it.
That would be sweet.
And we'll bring in all of our.
Got to make sure it doesn't turn into the. We got to make sure it doesn't turn into the toxic gun environment, though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's the big thing.
You know how we do that, Dan? I think we keep the veteran cause mission at the forefront.
Yeah, keep the focus in the front. Yeah.
Yep. Our partnerships with like Honor Flight, Mission 22, all the local organizations in each city.
For sure.
We bring that focus back to helping our brotherhood, our family. Keep that at the forefront. The competition is fun, but it's secondary to the cause, right?
Right.
Well, not only that, but the training element of it is so important. Just to have people out there that are doing something that's going to push their standards, that's going to make them better, that's going to have them out there training with some sort of purpose, right? Because we all have to go out and shoot, and I think that's awesome. But at the end of the day, with ammo being as expensive as it is right now, if you're not doing something that has training value to it, then you're just making expensive noise. And ultimately, I want to have purpose behind every round that I fire in training, if at all possible. So I think that's a good way to establish that, is by pushing people to do standardized drills with time and high standards of accuracy.
That's a great point. I mean, I talked to a few of my Marine buddies out here. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. We went shooting out in some desert land, and a couple of my Marine buddies like, man, my ammo's so low, I'm going to pass on this one. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And the guys in Nashville, same thing. And I'm like, the ammo shortages, right? I mean,
that was
what's going on with that?
I shot that when I shot that drill. I did the 10-10-10 drill, and like I said, I posted it to Pat's page. That was the last bit of 9mm that I had that I could spare. Everything else I have is duty ammo. That's my carry ammo.
Yeah.
Right.
Up here you can't find 9mm at all. And I shot it. I actually shot the drill twice. I shot it with my 9mm once, and then I shot it with my 10mm.
I saw you shot it with the 10. That was awesome.
Dude, that thing is such a nail driver. And that was with crappy Glock standard factory sights. That wasn't even good sights.
Right.
Nice.
That thing is such a nail driver. But yeah. So ammo is a huge thing. So keeping the round count relatively low, I think, will be kind of critical to getting people to want to participate.
For sure.
Because you don't want to be blowing through people's stocks and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
absolutely.
Pat, what's the biggest reason for that currently, and where do you see it going with the ammo shortages or the price?
Dan, yeah. So it's a funny thing, right? Because in the beginning of the year, back in like January, right, we started to have a little bit of a scare with the whole COVID-19 thing. Right. That started really early in the year. And people were a little bit freaked out by that, and so they started panic buying some firearms and ammunition on like a limited scale way back in the wintertime last year. And then there started to be some like rioting and stuff like that in the spring, as I'm sure you recall. Right. And then so there was more panic buying that was going on that was associated with that. This year, more people became new gun owners than at any other year in history since those statistics have been recorded.
Yeah.
Right. This year, in 3 consecutive months, we set records for the number of background checks being conducted on the federal level. Right.
Hey,
so
Pat,
every single time.
Hey Pat, wasn't that? Remember that crazy week we had? I think it was in March.
Yeah.
Didn't we sell like 300 some odd guns or something like that?
Yeah, we sold hundreds of guns in one of our busiest weeks. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, and you know how small the firing pin.
And we were selling
hundreds of guns.
Wow.
So Dan, we were selling these guns, and these were guns that we were saying off the air earlier that were somebody else's who lost their license. We're selling these guns to people, and we're straight up telling these customers, like, this gun is a piece of shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want you to think I'm trying to get over on you. But this gun is not a good gun. When you get an opportunity, you need to get something better than this.
Try
and
they
were still buying them, like,
gun,
they were just we couldn't keep stuff on the shelf, and it was pure insanity and it was people were buying guns that they couldn't get ammo for. So they'd buy a 12 gauge, and like, I can't sell you an ammo because I don't have any.
Yeah, I remember talking to Josh about that one time. He goes, "Man, we don't even have turkey loads right now." I'm like, "Really?"
No, we didn't have bird shot. Like, it was ridiculous. It was crazy, but it was, and like I said,
it was nuts.
we were telling people like, this is not a good gun. Like,
Right.
I don't want you to think that I'm lying to you, or I sold you up the river. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
This is not a good firearm. Like,
It's the best you're going to get right now. Yeah.
but
This
is all
is what I have to sell you. Yeah. Like
Right.
this is not the gun that I recommend. This is the gun that I have standing behind me on the counter that I can try to sell you right now.
Right.
So,
you know, and again, but you know, kind of to caveat off of that, that's one of the as far as the firing pin goes, I think the strengths of the firing pin is Brandon and Josh. They'll never get mad at you for being honest with someone. You know, like they 110% back, you know, the salespeople. So Pat and myself and the other guys that work there, like, you know, they'll tell you like, you know, just be honest with your customers and they'll keep coming back. And again, like I said, one of the strengths of the firing pin is you don't have to, there's no pressure to push stuff across the counter.
Right.
Just because we're trying to make money. Is, you know, like I said, like we were just telling people, like, this is not a good firearm, and I'm not going to pretend that it is, but it is what I do have, and if you really want it, I will sell it to you because that's my job. But it's also my job to be honest with you and tell you that, you know, tell you the truth and at least give you a basic understanding of how this thing works. So even as crazy as that week was, we were doing the best we could to teach people how to use whatever it was that we were selling them. That way, at least at minimum, they didn't hurt themselves.
Sure.
Because like you said, we were getting a lot of, like, I'd say at least 3/4 of the people were first time gun owners, and they didn't have a clue.
Wow. Never even handled a firearm in any way, shape, or form.
Wow. And it showed. And it was
a
little bit
knew
scary.
nothing. They were coming in there. So I'd like a tactical shotgun, and I'm like, all right, I'm sure you would, buddy. I'm sure you would.
Here we go.
Because neither Dan nor myself recommends shotguns, like, generally for home defense, right?
Yeah.
So they would come in and they would be like, I want a tactical shotgun, and I'd be like, awesome,
home defense shotgun.
Let's I want a home defense.
Oh, you want a home defender? I think what you mean is you want a dog.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was a fun time, man.
I actually got a one of those types of shotguns shipped. I had it a long time ago, and I had it shipped from a dealer in Burbank, California, right to you guys.
Oh, cool.
Because I had to do something with it.
Right.
But it's sort of the Mossberg 88 with the pistol grip.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Sold a couple of those in my time, for sure.
I bought it so long ago, man.
Nice.
I never still have it, but
we're out in California now. What do you got? Like a slingshot? Is that what you got?
I'm actually back and forth, man. I'm mainly living back in Western New York again now.
Oh,
so I just went back to Genesee County and reinstated my pistol permit.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah, man. I'm so
hopefully I'm up here in Alaska. I don't even need a pistol permit.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I know. I can't wait to get going on that again.
I can have whatever I want. Like I go to the little NF or the ATF kiosk, and I can print off a tax stamp, and I can go buy a suppressor.
That's why you love it.
Awesome. No problem, man. Like,
that's why you love it so much.
One of the first things I bought when I moved up here was that 10 mil.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, you guys have a great vibe at the firing pin, man. You come in there, everyone's happy to see you, and even the guys I don't know, they're very, very, friendly people, very knowledgeable, and
we try, man.
Yeah, and you and Josh are my guys, and Brandon, I still gotta meet Brandon. I mean, I gotta come in.
Met Brandon yet?
No, right? I don't think I have.
That's crazy.
Busy.
Well, yeah, he's always busy, man.
Yeah. I don't see him when I'm in there.
Yeah, I don't see him as much as I'd like to either. I only see him for the live stream like once a week, man.
Oh yeah,
he's always on to his next hustle.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool, man. We have a really good time. A lot of people really dig it. I wish more people would watch. Honestly, like, the one frustration of doing something like that is, as you know, right? You try to grow the viewership out, and you want it to be like, I don't know how you measure success, but I always want the viewership to grow because I want more people to be exposed. I want more interaction. I want, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want not for the positive interaction or for the review, you know, for the positive attention, I guess, but just for more interaction with people so that we can diversify the conversations and, you know, stuff like that. And also because I want more people to know about the Firing Pin and what we do, right? Because I love that place too. Like, Dan loves that place. He's been there a long time. You have a great relationship with those guys. You've been, you know, dealing with them on the business side and on the friend, you know, relationship side for a long time. Right. And I love that place as well. I've been there for about 2 years, and it's given me such a cool opportunity to work with a great, you know, customer base and stuff like that, and do what I love to do. So, you know, the live stream is another offshoot of that, and I really want it to be more successful. So hopefully more people will start to check it out.
You know, I think the thing with it, and kind of caveat off what Pat said, is the Firing Pin it's so much more than just a gun shop. It's not just a gun shop at all. Right. It's an education center. It's I don't want to say activist group. But it's a center of activism as far as gun rights go. Sure.
For sure.
Yeah, it's so many other things other than, it's so much more than just a gun shop. It's it's really, I think it's become a pillar of the Western New York community, really.
Absolutely. A family, really.
Yeah,
for sure.
A family atmosphere.
Really, it's a place where, you know, like-minded or even unlike-minded individuals can go to have an honest and good conversation with somebody, you know, a no-pressure conversation with someone about guns, about anything, really. I mean, like, I've had people come in there and just, you know, you can kind of tell when somebody comes in and they don't want to buy a gun. They're just browsing, which is fine. Well, you end up having a conversation with them about, you know, something that's going on in the New York State government, and you'll have an hour-long conversation with them, and they'll leave not giving you a penny, but you know what, they got whatever it was off their chest, and they had somebody to listen to. So,
well, think about it too. People that have never fired a gun or handled a firearm before, how intimidating it can be for them to get into that world. And if you have some friendly faces over there that make you feel comfortable, right, that makes all the difference in the world for the beginners and people that need to build their confidence with the firearm. So,
well, it's vital. So I was with the Firing Pin when it opened. Like, I had been working there, just, you know, part-time work on top of other things I was doing. Since 2014 when they opened. So I was one of the first, like, 5 employees there. And Josh and Brandon made it, they didn't say it directly, but they made it really clear that they didn't want that, with the way the pin was, they didn't want the Firing Pin to be like all the other gun shops where it's just some grumpy, crusty, old asshole behind the counter who's just going to talk down on you when you don't know every little thing about every little,
right,
you know, like every little detail about every single gun. Like, they didn't want that. They really wanted you to take the time, you know, identify when somebody doesn't know something about what it is that they're trying to buy, and teach them, like, you know, because you're only making them a stronger member of the community, a stronger member of the shooting community, when you educate them about what it is they have in their hands, or
right,
how to shoot, or you know all those types of things.
Very cool, definitely. Well, I tell you what, gents, I had a great time here with you guys tonight, and really appreciate you coming on and spending your time with us, and working on the virtual event we have coming up. And
for sure,
I mean, the honor is all ours, and it's good to hear your stories and bust the balls a little bit here on a Saturday night.
Yeah, Dan, thank you so much for inviting me to be on, man, and thank you for all the nice stuff you said about the Firing Pin, because, you know, we sure appreciate our relationship with the American Warrior Foundation as well. And so we look forward to working with you more in the future, and I'm very excited about this virtual event. If there's anything more I can do to help you out, man, hit me up. You got all of my contact info.
Awesome.
And for those of you guys out there watching this that don't know about the Firing Pin yet, follow us on the social media and check out our live stream too, because it's pretty cool. So yeah, thank you, Dan, again very much.
No problem. It will be rolling out the virtual registration here, so we can share it on our pages. You guys will have it too, cool. And we'll attach it to the Firing Pin. Make sure you guys, when everyone knows in Western New York, they're going to be going to the Firing Pin for the event.
Yeah, they can definitely come and get with us, and we'll take care. We'll video it for them or put them on a timer, whatever we got to do.
Okay, awesome.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Dan. Appreciate you. I know. Unaffiliated guy from Alaska.
No, it's a pleasure, man. Producer Don's trying to tell me something. I can't hear him. What do you say? Oh, the Firing Pin, was it firingpin.com, right, Patrick?
So our Facebook page is thefiringpinny.com. Our online store is store.thefiringpinny.com, and we're on the Facebook as the Firing Pin.
Cool, and we'll put links and everything at the bottom.
We'll get you guys the links.
Cool. Yeah, we'll make sure we run those across the bottom. And yeah, gentlemen, I tell you what, we had a great time. So we'll be talking to you guys soon, and have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks, you too, Dan.
Man. Talk to you again sometime. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. You guys take care.
Thanks. Take it easy.
All right.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Let's watch each other's back, baby. Watch each other's back.
Light them all up.
The American Warrior Festival podcast, brought to you by Oliver's Candies, the creator of the American Warrior Festival candy bar. Oliver's Candies is proud to offer you the largest selection of award-winning chocolates made in Western New York. Visit them online at oliverscandies.com.
What's going on, everybody? Don T. Pena here. Just wanted to take a minute to thank our fellow Patreon supporters and let you know that if you wanted to become a fellow supporter of our podcast, all you got to do is click on the link below that is in your show notes. Or if you're listening to this / watching this on YouTube, all you got to do is go to the video description. We will have a link to the Patreon page right there in that description as well. And that will take you to the homepage where you can see the 6 different options for our Patreon program. Feel free to browse through it, guys. Click on them, see which one best suits you, and any support, any help that you guys would offer us is much appreciated. It helps us put more content out for you and push this podcast to that next level. Once again, guys, thank you for all your support. We're going to continue to do our job. You guys have a great rest of your day. We're out.
The American Warrior Festival podcast is brought to you by the Red Osier Landmark Restaurant, Oliver's Candies, Smokin' Eagle Barbecue and Brew, The Firing Pin, Orcon Industries, Ken Barrett Chevrolet Cadillac, TF Browns, One LLP, Batavia Legal Printing, GunTrack App, and AmeriHome Healthcare.
Hi, this is Candy. You're listening to the American Warrior Festival podcast.